open to you.
Good morning.
Come on, everybody get up.
Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us, shining bright through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us, reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond a hush. Yeah, yeah. We feel it. We feel it. Yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it, in spirit. Spirit, you're the breath in us, breathing all of us right here. Spirit, you're the grace in us, calming every fear right here. Spirit, you're the peace in us, spreading out across the world. Spirit, you're the power in us, flying like a flag unfurled. Yeah, yeah. We feel it, reveal it. Yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it, in spirit.
Oh, and now is the time in the service where we get to turn and greet our neighbors with that friendly handshake, bow, or a hug. And please repeat to them the divinity salute. The divine in me greets the divine in you. And we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us, shining bright through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us, reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond a hush. Yeah, yeah. We feel it, reveal it. Yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it, in spirit. Yeah, yeah. We feel it, reveal it. Yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it, in spirit. We see it, believe it, in spirit.
Yeah, put your hands together.
Good morning, everyone. This is so exciting. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mary Molinari, and today I am overly excited and honored to be your ministerial host. Thank you. So welcome to Unity Renaissance. Welcome online. Hey guys. Welcome to people watching the recording. I know sometimes that's me because time is not measured in any kind of way, so you're here with us as well. And most welcome to all you beautiful faces that I miss so much from being up here. It's so amazing. Welcome to all of you. I first came to Unity a couple of years ago, probably before COVID, looking for a spiritual home for my blended family at the time. Unity fit just perfect when we came, because we all came from like different backgrounds and areas and religions. I was like, where do we go? What do we do? How do we raise these kids, you know? But being honest, I really wanted a place to bring our children where they learned what beautiful, loving beings they truly are, and not so much hearing that they are sinners or all that other stuff, that gave me nightmares when I was a kid. And I wanted them to hear it more just from their crazy weirdo mom, or bro, as I'm called nowadays. I wanted them to hear it from a community, a loving community. And so Unity became that community for us, and we have never looked back, and it's been amazing along the way. Unity is a positive, progressive, and practical spiritual community based on universal principles and the power of affirmative prayer. From this beautiful consciousness of love and oneness, we honor all paths to God, all names for God, and all expressions of God. And you know what's so great here at Unity? We know here that you and you and you and you and you and you and you are all precious expressions of God. Here at Unity, we thrive through our vision and mission. Please join me with excitement as we say our vision together: a spiritually awakened world, living love and joy. And now let's feel into our mission. Together, we transform lives that transform the world. Yes, we do. And we do that in so many ways. Let's take a look at the past week. So many amazing things going on. I mean, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words, but I'll give you some words to match the pictures. Feeding the homeless, we've created and made and donated and fed with 110 meals. 110 meals. Isn't that amazing? So it's like, Lynn Klein, are you here today? I don't see her. But special love and thanks to Lynn Klein, who put that together, and with all the volunteers who put that together. Can't do it without the volunteers, absolutely. And then the chili dinner and auction, and that raised in between $3,000 and $4,000 for the church. I was like, So, I think this gentleman does a lot more than what you see on a regular basis. I know I've personally seen him painting the bookstore and doing all those crazy things. So special love and gratitude to Ed Roachquist, because he does so many things. Okay, every Sunday we have 2 prayer chaplains. On a side note, this is just from me. Last week there was nobody out there, and they were kind of standing and hanging out, waiting to pray. So make sure this Sunday you guys get out there and go get some prayer, okay? So a lot of times I think we're raised with prayer is something we get when we're sad. Oh, no. When you leave here with this high vibration from all the talks and all the wonderful things, go raise that even higher with some prayer from these beautiful ladies. Okay, they're available at the end of the service at the chapel. So when you leave the sanctuary, it's to the left, in case you didn't know. And I'd like to invite them, along with the prayer chaplains in the sanctuary, to stand and hold space for us all as I begin our opening prayer. If you feel comfortable, allow your eyes to close as we turn away from the illusions in the world, those of lack, worry, separation, and fear. Let's turn within and join in the truth of what is real, the omnipresence, the love, the oneness of God consciousness. Let's take a deep breath. And in that feeling tone of love, we bless all the people that come together to create a space of unity and of high vibration so that we can be a mighty, positive force on this planet. Let's send some special love and gratitude today to Reverend Ann, who works behind the scenes on so many things, particularly with the prayer chaplains, and with someone like myself tirelessly as ministerial hosts. Let's give thanks for this season of Lent. It is here. We are so grateful. We feel that within us. It's a time for renewal and reflection and release. What a blessed time it is. We bless Reverend René as she comes forth to share the truth of spirit within her and all around her, that we may further awaken to the truth that God is, I am. For these blessings, truth, and love for all things big and small, We give thanks and praise. We release these words and they are returned to us in the right and perfect way, just as we need.
Good morning. My name is Boyd Black, and I am honored and excited to be your platform host. I don't know if I can reach the same heights of excitement that Mary exudes, but I'm going to try. Hold on, here we go. Hi, I'm Boyd, and glad you're here. Okay, so this is the first Sunday of the Lenten season, and as luck would have it, or divine inspiration, our word for today is awake. Please join me in our affirmation. Together, I am awake and fully present to life. Awakening from sleep, I pause for a moment to feel the energy of a new day. Birds outside my window sing a greeting. My still closed eyelids sense the morning light. Letting go of the delicious relaxation of sleep, I stretch my limbs, open my eyes, and rise from my bed. Awake, fully present in mind, body, and soul. To each activity of this day and to each person I meet, I feel truly connected. I engage fully with my daily work, study, prayer, and recreation. I notice details in my surroundings and see expressions of love and kindness I may have otherwise overlooked. Each moment becomes vivid and meaningful. Nothing feels ordinary when I'm awake. My life is a journey of discovery and appreciation. Our scripture verse today is taken from Mark chapter 13, verse 37. And what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake. Now please join us as we sing the Lord's song.
Holy Creator, we praise your name. Your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply
think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe, yes, I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Put your hands together for Miss Brittany Henderson. Put your hands together. Come on now.
Go, feel that. Did you feel that? Beautiful, just beautiful. Wow. My goodness gracious. Ever feel like there are two voices inside your head? One voice is saying you're weak, the other one's saying you're strong. One voice says you don't belong. The other says, I am yours. You are mine. We are one. One says that you're not enough. Another says, you're all that is. You are my beloved in whom I am well pleased. Which voice are you listening to? Which voice are you listening to? If you want to know which voice that you're listening to, all one need do is look at your life. If you want to know which voice you're listening to on a consistent basis, feel what you feel. Allow your feeling tone to be your feedback loop that tells you which voice you are choosing to be aligned with. I am here to tell you that we actually have dominion over the voice that we choose to listen to. Now, if you're not feeling that, or if you do not believe it, take a breath with me. And everybody could take a breath, because there are times when each and every one of us does not believe the voice for truth, does not believe the voice for love, does not believe the voice for God. And that's okay. because you walk into these doors on a regular basis, because you tap in and tune in to the Spirit of truth in, through, and as your brothers and sisters and what we're up to here. And we're speaking the voice for truth here. That we may remember who we are as spirit, and who we are as spirit is unlimited and free. Who we are as spirit is we're the creator of our experience. Who we are as spirit is sovereign. Who we are as spirit is a co-collaborator with the voice for God. So there's ever only one activity going on, and it's the activity of truth, the activity of love, and everything else is but a dream. You remember the song, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 merrily. I did not plan to do that. Life is but a dream. Because I am not a singing preacher, as you can tell. In another life I was, but not in this one. Or maybe it's a parallel life. Life is but a dream. I quoted Charles Fillmore last week from the Revealing Word about what is Easter. And at Easter, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. And then it goes on to say that in a moment-by-moment basis, we are to follow Jesus in his pilgrimage and his walk of awakening, of rising in consciousness to the remembrance of who he was and is. A holy and beloved child of God that we call Christ. In unity, we believe that inherent in each and every one of us is that spark of the divine, the Christ, the I am of our being, that aspect of the self that actually never sleeps and is always awake. And so during the Lenten season, what we practice, moment by moment, day by day, breath by breath, is a continual turning to the voice for love. A continual turning away from the voice that speaks to separation. And that separation, the original quote unquote fall, the separation from God, that in consciousness we embarked upon, we chose. Gee, what would it be like to live a dream separate from the truth of love? We're only going to explore it for a little bit. Just like when we sleep at night, we know that we're going to wake up and we may have dreams. But when we awaken, does not the dream dissipate? For those of us who follow our dreams, we might write them down away because they become like nothing as the day goes on. They fade. This is what awakening is about. It's choosing to allow that still small voice inside of us that reminds us that we're loved, that reminds us of who we are. And we begin to turn away from the illusory world, what Unity would say, the mortal mind, the race consciousness that has somehow believed and dreamed itself to be separate from the all that is, and made up all kinds of stories about sin and sinners, made up all kinds of stories about sickness, and made up all kinds of stories about death. And when you're in that dream, man, it's real. It feels real. So I'm not saying that we don't experience it as we're believing it. But when we turn to the voice for God, when we keep hearing that voice that's saying, keep awake, stay awake, wake up now, beloved, And as the poem says, wake up, beloved, you're sleeping. There's no safety in that. You're walking through life asleep. There's no safety in that. Why do you think we have all the zombie shows? Right? Art is just mimicking what is happening, and we're walking asleep. And the voice that says, keep awake, is the voice of Jesus, and scripturally that comes from what we're going to talk about today. And what we're talking about today is that Jesus goes into the garden. He goes into the garden before Holy Week starts, and it's the Garden of Gethsemane. And in that garden, and we talked about the garden last week, so the garden metaphysically represents the garden of your consciousness, the garden of your mind. You could even think of it as where I cultivate and place my attention. Which voice am I going to listen to? Which voice am I listening to? And so we go into the garden to remember that we have volition, to remember that we have dominion over our lives. And we go into the garden to separate off from the dream of illusion. And we go into the garden to do our practice. At this point in the story, I'm going to give you my interpretation that is informed by unity teachings and other studies that I have partaken of. But here's the deal. By this time in Jesus' ministry, he's already raised people from the dead. He's already changed water into wine. He's already healed individuals who are sick. He's already modeled that everybody is your brother and sister, even those who are considered outcasts. So his ministry thus far has been about, you can't sin or be a sinner. You can't be cast out. I'm going to hang with you even if you are unclean, even if you are a Samaritan, even if you are a woman, even if you've been outcast by society. I have not forgotten you. In the eyes of the Father, Mother presence, there is no sinner and no sin, just a falling asleep to the truth. Just a falling asleep to the truth. And in that falling asleep, making up an illusion and a dream that we can awaken to any moment we choose to turn. And that's what Lent is, every moment we choose to turn. And Jesus, in his ministry thus far, has already healed individuals, people who were blind and now see, people who couldn't walk, get up and walk in a gleeful way. But he has one more thing to prove to us. And that one more thing that he's proving, which is the point of the ministry, is the resurrection and consciousness that there can be no death. That you are not a body, we are not bodies, that we rise continuously, that our life is eternal. And if he can heal in human consciousness concepts of sin, sickness, and death, man, that's the trifecta of the dream. You knock that trifecta out and you are blown awake. But that might just be a little difficult for us. So most of us partake of awakening a little bit at a time, so our psyche doesn't freak out on us, right? So, so we have our little challenges in life. We have our little challenges in life. Do you not want to know? Don't you want to know how to meet those challenges as they arise? Don't you want to know how to make good decisions? Don't you want to know the right way to walk your walk? Well, he's about to tell you. He's about to show you. But the one who walks into that garden, my friends, that one is already awake. That one is already Christ. That one still has a ministry to complete, and it wasn't a ministry of suffering, of pain, or of death, but of triumph and light and life. We just focused on the wrong part of the story. We focused on the dream of the story. And what we do in unity is we focus on that resurrection consciousness. And he's showing us how. What does he do? He goes into a garden. It's a garden where he and his buddies have prayed before. It's outside of Mount Olive. And the metaphysical, symbolic meaning of this particular garden, Gethsemane, is representative of an oil press. So if you imagine there are olive trees and olives, and back in those days they didn't pop olives in their mouths like we do, I don't think. That's what some of my readings suggest. But that they used it for the oil. And that the oil, which was valuable, needed to be pressed out of the olive. Just like any a prayer chaplain sits in my office, and he or she holds prayer consciousness in the office while we are preparing for the Sunday service. They're anchoring a consciousness and energetic for us. The seamless awareness of the presence of God and casting forth blessings upon myself, upon everybody who's in service, and upon you, that you may receive what you are here to receive this day to impact your awakening, that you may live in peace, love, and joy. That's what they're doing. We model what Jesus is modeling. He brings in a consciousness to buoy him up. How many of you need a consciousness to buoy you up sometimes? How many? How many of you can't know the truth on your own? It's okay. We weren't created in isolation. We've been created in relationship. We can tap in and lean into one another's consciousness. Avail yourselves of one another. Invite your friends who you invite with you to say, hey, I'm having a health challenge, but I don't want your worry. I want you to know the truth. I want you to see me and know me as perfect health and wholeness. Or my beloved passed away or moved on in some way. I don't want you to kvetch with me and say how horrible and tragic it is. I need your consciousness to help anchor, oh my goodness, that life is eternal, that form shifts and changes, and that's okay, but the essence of love and the relationship persists now and always. When I can't do that myself, I bring in and lean into y'all. Are you going to be ready when I call upon you to anchor this consciousness that we speak of here? And if the answer is I'm not ready yet, then every Sunday, avail yourself of prayer. There are individuals here to pray with us. So metaphysically, who is with Jesus in the garden? I'm going to begin with John, who metaphysically represents love. So when we're turning from the chatter of the world that is about negation, we're turning and we're denying the power of it. We're demonstrating our volition, our sovereignty, and we're turning to God, which is love. And love heals all things. I know we don't think it does. We think it's frivolous, but it's the most powerful energetic in all of creation. It's no accident that love is what creates. It's modeled in how we procreate. That love brings forth new beginnings, new life. And so we turn to that. So we bring into the garden of our consciousness love. We breathe in and out love. And then James is John's brother. James represents judgment. But not judgment of the world, that judgment beyond that appearance to the truth, to that voice for God, that sometimes you just have to go in the garden and be still and listen for. And so it's not judgment of the world, but it's seeing beyond appearances. It's a spiritual judgment and understanding that qualifies and requalifies everything according to the divine order of love first, God first. And then finally, Peter, who I believe is the one who falls asleep multiple times, which represents our faith. How often have you fallen asleep to the faithfulness that God is all that there is? How often have you fallen asleep to the ideas that you cannot be a sinner, or sin, or that there's a mark upon your soul that you must grovel and plead and suffer in order to remove. So how often have we fallen asleep to our divine identity of who we are, what we are, how we serve? So we might laugh a little bit, but every single character here is representing us, an aspect of us. And so we invite and invoke the faithfulness of God when we go in the garden. Take a breath with me here. I believe that each and every person who's in the vibratory field of this conversation is called by God specifically, called by Spirit, called by the heart of your being, called by love, to reconstruct the divine self in this experience. To reconstruct. Now, where do I get that word from? Well, I forgot, so I'm going to come over here and look. I forgot because I read it last week to you. And it was the metaphysical meaning of Easter. And it says that Jesus was born into the race thought. Jesus was born into human consciousness so that he might reconstruct it in conformity with divine law. This is how he became the way shower. He's showing the way. He's showing the way. And the way that he is showing thus far is to take that pause and that breath, to turn away from the chatter of the world, to become willing to take that belief system that's upholding this and to begin to be willing to let it go. The pilgrimage that we're on is deconstructing this thought system and reconstructing the thought system of God, of love. One thought, one belief at a time. We're pressing out the oil. We're pressing out the oil that we may anoint ourselves. And when we anoint ourselves with that oil, that elixir that comes forth from love, when we anoint ourselves, oh my goodness gracious, if you imagine a light oil upon your body, upon your being, upon your consciousness, what happens when you cultivate this is that the thought system of the illusion, when it comes your way, it just rolls off you like water off a duck's back or neck. It just bubbles and just goes away. It doesn't penetrate you when you practice this. The anointing of that preciousness of the oil of love, that elixir of love, of that spiritual understanding and that faithfulness, becomes how we walk through the world. And as we walk, ideas of sin, sickness, and death just fall aside. Keep awake, beloveds. Keep awake. Stay awake. Say with me, I am alive. I am awake. I am aware. I am alive. I am awake. I am aware. Feel that. Oh, feel that. I am alive. I am awake, aware. My being has this whisper that says, stay awake, beloved. I am surrounded by beloved friends that buoy me up, that pray with me, that hold this prayer consciousness. And it's right here, right where we are. I go into the garden to release and let go, that I may rise and resurrect in consciousness, that I might be free, that I might fulfill my ministry, your ministry, each of you, a ministry in God as love. Say, I have a ministry. I have a ministry. It's great. It's grand. It's glorious. Say that. Own it, man. It's great. It's grand. It's glorious. And guess what? Say, and guess what? All I need to do is align in the garden. I am love. I spiritually understand and discern. I am filled with the faith and the faithfulness of God. And so I say, thank you, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, that this is already so. Every time we rise to the realization of eternal indwelling life, making union in this way, we are resurrected. We don't need to wait till April 20th on Easter, but in the meantime, we're going to walk our talk, go into the garden, and every time we feel the pressure of the dream or the illusion, we're going to remember this conversation. But we're not just going to remember it here. I'm inviting this community to practice it daily, that you may die daily. Die daily. Practice dying daily to the belief system that keeps the dream alive. Die daily to that you may resurrect and rise to this consciousness that only seeks to love you and support you, that you may be who you came here to be. This is what I know, this is what I claim, and this is what I say, and so it is too. And so we take a breath here. And I invite Nick to take us into the garden, please. And so we follow our breath and breathing as we practice all the time. Like our brother and way shower, we go into the garden. This is the garden of our consciousness. And we go alone, and yet we bring with us the presence of love. The presence of understanding. And the faithfulness of God. And in this garden, I become willing. I become willing to let go of everything unlike love. I may ask the self, what direction am I seeking? What decisions are mine to make? And I join in consciousness with Spirit, holy and divine, and I place upon the altar of my heart everything. And I connect with the source of my being. And I ask, what is mine to know? And I listen. What is mine to give? And I listen. And what is mine to release? And I listen. I commune with the source of my being, the beloved of my being. I place my attention and focus here. I am single-pointed. I give it my full attention and appreciation, and what I give gives back to me. It's full attention, it's full appreciation. My guidance descends into my awareness, is clear. I know what is mine to do, what is mine to say, and when to be still. How grateful I am for this moment of awakening. How grateful I am for this moment to be willing to release everything that does not serve this purpose of my ministry. How grateful I am to invite and invoke in this willingness to release a falling in love with letting go of what no longer serves me. Oh, goody, goody, what do I get to let go of now? Oh, goody, goody, how do I lighten my load? I am willing. I'm willing to let go and let God lead my life. And as we breathe this prayer in and out, I release it too. And it returns fulfilled. And I celebrate it this day. As I begin to close this portion of time in the garden, I allow this music to inspire me to let go, to release, to be joy-filled in it, to invite it, and to celebrate it. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit. As I rise, I am awake, and so it is. Amen.
There was a You've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life.
And my
heart is open wide. Only here for God.
no more struggle.
Oh, no more struggle, yeah.
My faith I
With my faith I see the
I
light.
am free.
I'm free in the Spirit.
Yes, I'm
Oh, I'm only here for God.
I release.
I really
Let go.
I let the Spirit run my life.
Yes,
I'm only here for God.
no more struggle.
No more struggle.
No more strife.
No more strife,
With
yeah.
my faith I see the
With my
light.
faith I see the light.
In the Spirit.
And I'm free in the
Yes,
Spirit.
I'm
I'm only here for God. I release
And I let
and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life.
my
And
heart
my eyes open wide. Only here for God. No more struggle, yeah. No more pain.
my faith
When
I
my
see
faith
the
I
light.
see the light. And I'm free. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. It's like, woo, cookie. Oh, my goodness. So, with that feeling tone of feeling free and being in the Spirit, let's get into the spirit of giving to keep this alive, to keep this going day after day, moment after moment. And there's so many ways you could do that. You can click on that QR code if you're not too fancy with that. Just go to your camera, click on it, and then hit the button, and you can give in that way. Or you could text the word give to, and I'm old school, 540-418-1228. Text now. Thanks. So, with that, let's hold our gifts in our hand, in our hearts, and in our minds. And let's say the offertory blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Back in good measure, it's given back to you.
Wow, if you are here for the first time, you are so blessed to be feeling in all this with all of us. Please raise your hand. Do not be shy. We are not going to do anything to you, at least not on the first visit. Anybody? No? Yay, okay, welcome. Well, our beautiful volunteer, because that's what takes also for this place to keep moving, is to be a part of Unity Renaissance, is to volunteer here. Giving you a card, please fill that out, take it to the bookstore, and we have a gift special for you. Thanks. Okay, wonderful Sandy, hi. Good morning, our wonderful Sandy.
Good morning, Unity Renaissance and those online. I have the privilege of presenting our 39th artist in our 40th show. Thank you. The area artist is Michael Schimmel. Please stand up. With nature, wildlife, and interesting locations. Michael not only is an incredible artist and photographer, and all the photographers out there that like to talk lenses and shutter speed and everything like that, wax poetic, he'll love it. But also he's also a passionate environmentalist. A majority of his work features loss of habitat, or the impact of loss of habitat and wildlife and things like that. So please take advantage of it. And I give you again, nature, wildlife, and interesting locations.
All right, all right. So we have 4 announcements. Bear with me. The first one, starting this Wednesday and lasting throughout the Lenten season, we're offering an online prayer service from 6:30 to 7:15 via Zoom. You can find that link on our website, unityrenaissance.org, or you can get it in our weekly e-blast. If you're not signed up for the e-blast, talk to Alicia Flores. It has loads of information, tells you everything that's going on throughout the week. And Amy Steinberg will be our guest next week. She'll be giving the message, she'll be doing the music, and for only a love offering of $20, there is a concert by Amy Steinberg here at 1 p.m. after the service. And we have our book club, a new book. It is called One Truth, One Law, I Am, I Create by Aaron Worley. And that's being hosted by our bookstore manager, Tammy Decker. Is she in here, Tammy? No? Okay. Visit the bookstore. The book is in there, and all the details you have. And that will begin this Thursday at 1 p.m. in person here, or online via Zoom at 7 p.m. If you have any questions, visit Tammy in the bookstore. She has all the answers. And as usual, we have a board member available for you after the service to answer any questions you have. As questions, comments, concerns, compliments. We love compliments. So our board member for today is Don Grady, standing right there in the back. So go see him. He'll be in the narthex or roaming around. All right, and now it's time to bring in the kids. Let's stand and bring them in. We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God.
All right. Good morning, Unity Renaissance. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, and our kids today have been talking about the theme of release, getting ready for Lent and for a period of release and renewal. And before I hand it over to the kids, I have just some announcements about some of the things that are going on after the service today. We have our YFM forum. This is open to any parents or volunteers, people who would like to be more involved with what's going on in the YFM. We can talk about our vision, and we can talk about planning opportunities for spring. And so that'll be after the service. We'll get started probably a little after 12:30. Everyone can kind of grab some food. The parents and volunteers will meet in the multi-purpose room. If you have children, we will have childcare for that forum. So check in at the greeter desk, and the kids can go into the Great Hall. We have some sandwiches and things. The kids can make a plate in the YFM hallway. And then we also have Shining Souls rehearsals. So the Shining Souls can go ahead and make a plate with the other kids, go eat that in the Great Hall, and then Alicia will pull them into the sanctuary when we're ready to begin that rehearsal. Great. So I hope a lot of you can make it. Do I have any shares today?
I release my worries and trust in God.
Any other sharers? So I see the Unikids made a lovely poster with all of the things that they release: anger, stress, hate, seriousness. Oh, I love it. All right. Do we have anything else from the Unitots? All right. Unitots, just want to hold up your beautiful butterflies that you made. All right. And now let us stand for the prayer of protection.
All right. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy